Hello, this is Radiance Thompson. I am here today with a new view of doing things. As you can see, the title is called Healing Middle Passage Day 1, Healing Your Mother Wound. And a little backstory before we get into why I chose to call it that. First and foremost, I am African American. And I have been wanting to really pay homage to my ancestors for making the journey to the Americas and staying alive. Because if they hadn't chosen to stay alive, I would not be here today. I would not have this opportunity to go after my dreams, to help people with their healing journeys. And ultimately, if it had not been for their sacrifice, I would not have the gifts and the opportunities that I have today. So that being said, I have been wanting to do some sort of tribute to them, and I did some research, and the average amount of time for the Middle Passage for the slaves to make it from West Africa, which is where most of my ancestors are from. Most of the Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and then, of course, there's other parts, Ghana, Bali, and things like that. That being said, 80 days is the average day for the Middle Passage. So in homage to them, I am going to do 80 days of lives for them, because if it had not been for them, I wouldn't be me. That being said, we're going to be talking about healing the mother wound today and how I had to choose to undergo my transformation, had to choose to go into my chrysalis, into my cocoon, in order to transition from caterpillar to butterfly. Now, let's get started. All right. So I'm 33 years old. However, I spent the last 20 years of my life self-sabotaging. And I know it was because of my mother wound. Now, if you had read my previous post, you know that mother wound doesn't mean that I have a necessarily dysfunctional relationship with my mother. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I cannot have a healthy relationship with my mother. And for anyone that this resonates with, it does not mean that you have to have a dysfunctional relationship with your mother or that you cannot have a healthy one. It means that because of the patriarchal society that we live in, there have been limitations imposed on women or the feminine energy in your life. Now, this can apply to women and men, that you can have a feminine energy or feminine wound that has caused you to repress your innate gifts, appear less than, and it has caused you to make repression of your gifts to become second nature. Now, that being said, because of that, not speaking my truth and showing up as my authentic self has, or did in the last 20 years, became on autopilot. It caused me to it caused me to want to appear less than in order to, go along with the status quo. And because society had ingrained in the feminine energy of my lineage that appearing less than made me more palatable, I was delaying my metamorphosis in complete submission of the status quo. And in delaying my metamorphosis, I also delayed the blessings on the other side of my transformation. And it caused me to waste years of my life delaying being recognized as a leader. And in doing that, it delayed the influx of money that I could use as a resource to build generational wealth. It caused me to delay the lives that I could have been touching by self-actualizing my gifts and answering my calling. Eventually, the level of pain caused by delaying the metamorphosis became more palpable, more dense than actually going through the metamorphosis itself. And, I got tired of being backhanded by the universe with painful lessons. Here it is. The universe, God, what have you, source, gives you gifts in order for you to actualize those gifts into this 3D reality, for you to use those gifts to help more people. You have a divine mission to use whatever calling it is that you're meant to answer to help more people. It's really a mutualistic gift that you have with the universe, a mutualistic a mutually beneficial relationship, excuse me, that you have with the universe when it comes to your gift, in order for you to use that gift to help more people. And in doing so, you also feel alive, you feel expansive, you feel refreshed, you feel, illuminated, because you're actually living and breathing in your calling. So, that being said, I got tired of being backhanded by the universe with painful lessons by not answering my calling. And I realized, these were lessons I brought on by my own not answering my calling. These were lessons that I caused by self-sabotaging myself, by people pleasing, by dimming my light. And these were all symptoms of an unhealed mother wound. Now, finally, instead of submitting to the mother wound, I submitted to the impending metamorphosis. I stopped choosing to be a butterfly and decided to transform into I stopped choosing to be a caterpillar. I stopped choosing to be a caterpillar. So I need you to ask yourself if you are choosing to be a caterpillar instead of a butterfly. Not that a butterfly isn't meant for you or that you're not capable of becoming a butterfly, but perhaps you are willfully submitting into being a caterpillar. Because I know I was at one point too. And when you choose to be a butterfly, that is when you are choosing to tell the universe that, hey, I'm ready to answer my calling. And that's when you may start realizing that the universe is now choosing to stop chastising you for not answering your soul's calling. And when you do that, that is when you will also start realizing that the universe is delivering you blessings. That's when opportunities start to appear out of thin air. That's when your gifts get stronger in whatever realm that is where you have gifts. That's where you start being able to touch more lives, make a bigger impact. And that's when you start seeing the ripple effect of you choosing to embody your fullness, your full potential, your power. And it comes from choosing to heal your mother wound. So when I chose to heal my mother wound, that is when I awakened the goddess within. Okay? So here's a lesson. Your unhealed mother wound will cause you to betray God by not self-actualizing the God within you. Now I want you to let that resonate. Not is it resonate that I'm looking for? Let that marinate within you for a minute. That saying, that sentence I said. Your unhealed mother wound will cause you to betray God by not self-actualizing the God within you. Because remember, the God within you represents the divine gifts that your soul is called upon to self-actualize. And your mother wound will cause you to ignore that nudge, that pull to answer your soul's calling by making you feel guilty for having your gifts, causing you to dim your light, self-sabotage, and to not speak your truth not speak your truth because you may not want to rock the boat. So begin the process of healing your mother wound by asking yourself, what made the feminine figurehead in your family or the feminine energy in your family? Now, remember, we have masculine and feminine energies within us. So this feminine quality can be present in both male and female in your life, whether that be within you or other people, but it is a mother wound characteristic to dim your light. So I just want to make that clear. So begin by asking yourself, what made the feminine figurehead, the feminine energy in your family suppress themselves? Were the feminine energies in your family denied the opportunity to go after their dreams? Perhaps they have to forego their dream to take care of family obligations. And you are made to believe that embodying your divine feminine energy, by embodying your power, by stepping into your fullness, is actually synonymous with, um, excuse me, not synonymous. It's actually goes against what you're supposed to embody, which is self sacrifice. So let me make sure I made that clear. Perhaps you believe feminine qualities are synonymous with self sacrifice. Perhaps you believe going against being in your divine feminine means that you're not supposed to embody your power. You're not supposed to step into your fullness. And when you begin answering these questions, you begin to heal your mother wound and you can start capitalizing on the time you have right now to be seen as a leader, self-actualize your gifts, touch more lives, make an impact, and to begin building generational wealth. Remember, self-actualizing your gifts may have been delayed, but it doesn't mean that they are denied. There is a difference. So let me help you begin the process of healing your mother wound so you can self-actualize your gifts, answer your soul's calling with my signature EAT method. Now, let me move forward to that. Here we go. There it is. Awesome. Excuse me, I lost my place a little bit. And also, I just want to make sure I'm clear as well. The person that I'm speaking to and the person that I know that I can help, you're not someone that is in the woe is me 24/7. Now, we all have our moments and we all deserve grace for those moments. However, you are allowed to throw yourself a pity party for 5 minutes, 24 hours, a week, what have you. But you're also someone that gets back up and starts swinging at life. You're not going to sit there and wait for life to happen. You know that you have to take action. And you know and value micro steps every day, taking micro steps every day because you know those micro steps accumulate into micro shifts, which will accumulate into macro shifts, which will accumulate into big changes over time. You value investing in yourself. You may listen to Ayanla Van Zandt. You may listen to Gabrielle Bernstein. You may listen to Tom Bilyeu. Okay. You may listen to the likes of Danielle Laporte. You value educating yourself to becoming the best and highest version of yourself. But you know that YouTube, you know that self-help books aren't getting you where you want to be yet. Okay, so here's how you start shifting and healing your mother wound. And here's how you do it with my signature EAT method. Now, this is the method that you will use and that I've created. If let's say if you were to sign on with me and have a session with me, it's a multidimensional, multi-layered healing method that I help my clients with evaluating their ego, accepting their shadow, aligning their body, and transcending their soul so they can transition from surviving to thriving. And it gives them a framework for overcoming self-sabotage and perfectionism so they can heal their mother and father wounds, radiate their light, step into their fullness, and own their power. It helps them showcase their gifts, answer their calling, so they can create generational wealth. So if you're still here, here's how you use the EAT method, especially if you were to sign on with me and become one of my clients. So I'll give you a little bit of how I use that. So make sure you write this down. Evaluate your ego. Begin by evaluating your ego by asking yourself questions like, do you change depending on the environment that you are in? For example, do you diminish yourself to make yourself more palatable or to appear more important in certain environments? Okay. Accept your shadow. So we're in the EAT method. It's EAAT. So I did the evaluate your ego. Now we're going to do the accept your shadow. Now, A, accept your shadow. Which of your characteristics do you deem unfavorable according to the status quo? List them. Remember that the qualities that you deem unfavorable may be the same qualities that set you apart from the crowd. They can be your secret sauce, and they can help you ascend into the next dimension of leadership for whatever realm your leadership is in. A, align the body. Ask yourself, what visual have you created for your ideal leader? Do you fit the physical vision of what your leader is or what your ideal leader is? Is there fluidity as you move as a leader? If you're feeling stuckness or stagnant energy, remember, movement in one area of your life causes movement in another area of your life. It creates a ripple effect. So begin to move and notice how things start to move as well with you. T, transcend the soul. Start to look for repeating themes. Where do you see self-sabotage repeating itself in one area of your life and in another and in another? This is your way of your soul making you pay attention to how you are not in alignment with your soul's path, with your soul's calling, what have you. And as you solve one area of self-sabotage, whether that be in relationships, in how you move in your career, in your business, as you solve one area of your life, notice that it will create a ripple effect in another area. Okay? So we just went through the EAAT EAT method that I've created for my clients. It's a multidimensional, multi-layered healing method that will help you with your healing journey. And today we're talking about your mother wound and how it causes you to dim your light and how you can use this once again to self-actualize your gifts. Okay? So this is the method that will help you with healing your mother and father wounds, but today we talked about the mother wound. So you can radiate your light instead of dimming your light, showcase your gifts, step into your fullness, own your power. So you can be seen as a leader, touch more lives, and ultimately make an impact. Okay? So if you're someone that knows that they have some healing to do, reach out to me, send me a DM, and let's schedule your first session with me. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this first of 80 Middle Passage series. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. Send me some messages if you have questions. Send me some, post some comments if you have some questions. And thank you again. Sending you love.